Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursdays at 3. I am Annika Spalding. I'm the Community Relations Director here at the Amarillo Little Theater. And welcome to Thursdays at 3. This is a weekly show where I come to you live and tell you about all the exciting things going on at ALT. I'm so glad that you're here. It is like the 75th day of January? Is it? Why does January feel like it's a million years long? I don't know. And there is Nick. Decide if legit or normal. I don't know. There are a ton of things as always happening in ALT, so I want to go ahead and get started because we have a lot to get to today. I can't believe it's finally happening, but the play that goes wrong is allegedly having preview night tonight, and we are so excited. We are so excited for this show to get going. It is a long time coming now. For those of you who may or may not know, we are about a week delayed getting this show up. And we are so excited. I feel like the anticipation was already building for this show, and now it's off the charts. People are so excited to see it. Having said that, if you have tickets to the show, I have been told you might want to get here a few minutes early if you want to catch some pre-show shenanigans. If you can, try to arrive around 10 to 20 minutes early because there are going to be some exciting things happening in our lobby and things like that. So I don't know anything. I haven't read the show. I haven't seen the show. I'm seeing it tomorrow, but I have been told for some extra fun, show up a little bit early if you want to do that. We also, please get your tickets to the show if you haven't already. We have very limited seating this weekend. I think when I checked this morning, and this may have changed by now, there was 1 ticket left for tomorrow and 5 tickets left for Saturday, and it's limited seating all weekend. So if you have to see it this weekend, please call the box office. I'm going to put that information up here for you right now. The number is 806-355-9991, or you can purchase your tickets online at our website at www.amarillolittletheater.org. The best availability for this show is going to be next weekend. There's limited availability next Friday, I believe, as well. So your best bet is going to be probably the weekend next week. But go ahead and get online whenever you can and get your tickets for this show. We have really serious need for ushering and concessions help for this show. We really desperately need people for tonight, specifically, but we need help all weekend long. So we need 3 people for concessions tonight and 2 ushers. So if you can help us, please let us know. This QR code is posted on our ALT Warriors Facebook page. That is separate from our regular Facebook page. If you're not following the ALT Warriors page, just search ALT Warriors on Facebook and request to join, and we will, of course, allow you to join. Or you can go to my personal Facebook page, Annika Spalding, or Jason Crespine's, our Managing Artistic Director's Facebook page, where we've shared it. To help us out, if you can help us with ushering and concessions, just scan the QR code on this graphic and you'll see a schedule of times that ushers and concessions help is needed. If you are a current ALT volunteer and you aren't following the Warriors page, go follow it. We send out a lot of volunteer news there. If you don't want to mess with all that, I understand. Simply call our box office. Again, there's that information. Call our box office at 355-9991. Or go to our website don't go to our website. Email Lissa if you want to volunteer. You can volunteer by emailing Lissa or calling the box office right there. There's her information there. If you can help us out, that would be absolutely wonderful. Again, get your tickets to see this show. Tickets are going to fly. And after this weekend, I anticipate word of mouth spreading like wildfire. So if you want to go next weekend, get your tickets before word of mouth starts getting around, because it's going to happen sooner than later. We're going to chat about all things Play That Goes Wrong later in the show when I chat with 2 amazing cast members. So stick around for that. But for right now, let's chit chat about other things going on at ALT. Rent is, of course, in full swing rehearsals, which we've talked about before. We are so excited about this show premiering in February. From what I hear, they're having an absolute blast. And apparently on Mondays, we wear stripes. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. Apparently on Thursdays, I wear pink. But on Mondays, we wear stripes. Here's music director Jen Akins, dramaturg Chip Chandler, and director Jason Crespin twinning at rehearsal on Monday. How cute are they? So, so cute. Also, Academy spring registration is open. Believe it or not, classes started this week. Look at all these pictures from shows we've done in the past. And of course, there's some exciting things coming that we'll talk about here in a second. But Academy spring registration is open. You can register your student or yourself. There are adult classes too until next Friday, the 26th, unless the class is full. You can register by calling our box office. I'll put that that information is actually right there where you can see it, 806-355-9991 if you want to register by phone. Or you can go to our website, which is here. If you go to www.amarillo-littletheater.org, on our main page, if you click Academy and you scroll down to Academy classes, it'll take you to our available classes. Here is a list of our available classes. Just click on the one that's appropriate for you or your child, and you can register directly from there. So again, you can do that if you haven't already, all the way through next Friday, the 26th, unless that class is already full. Speaking of the Academy, Little Mermaid auditions start next week. We are so excited for the kids to do this show. There is so much anticipation around this show. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And our Academy director, Harrison Stringer, I know is going to knock it out of the park with this. Of course, I'm sure that these tickets will sell like crazy. We have the most talented kids in our Academy. I cannot wait to see what they do with this show. And again, if you want to audition for The Little Mermaid, or if you know someone who does and they are not registered for classes with the Academy, they can't audition for The Little Mermaid. So you have to be a registered Academy student to participate in the shows. So make sure and do that if you haven't already, or if you know someone who might want to audition for The Little Mermaid, make sure they're registered for classes. That is very, very important. Speaking of things that are very important, we have an A-team work call this weekend for Rent. Yes, we are moving. The Play That Goes Wrong is done. We are moving right along to Rent. This is an A-team build work call. So if you don't know your way around construction, maybe wait for another work call. This is for really ideally people who really know what they're doing when it comes to building, which does not include me. So only people who know what they're doing. I, of course, will not be there for that. That's going to be at 9:30 a.m. this Saturday at the Adventure Space. And make sure to RSVP so that we can get you fed. Make sure to RSVP by calling the box office or emailing Lissa@Amarillo-littletheater.org to help us out with that. Another thing that went on this week, our Academy director, Harrison Stringer, who's also in The Play That Goes Wrong, and Zeke Lewis, who is also a cast member of The Play That Goes Wrong, chatted with Sheldon Brashears on News Channel 10's Second Cup this week. And we have that full interview on our Facebook page. It's 4 minutes long. So fun to watch. So if you have a minute, head over to our Facebook page and watch these two great cast members chat about The Play That Goes Wrong. And while we're talking about The Play That Goes Wrong, I want to show you some fun graphics and pictures of our amazing cast for this show. I've shared these before, but hey, we're here, so I'm just going to share them again. Look at this amazing cast and this incredible set. I cannot wait to see this show. Clearly, there are going to be tons of hijinks and surprises and all manner of shenanigans happening in this show. This is one of my personal favorites. I feel like this should be a viral meme. My gosh, it's so good. This has created a little bit of confusion on social media. I don't know that people aren't always paying attention to the fine print. Andy Justice is not starring in The Play That Goes Wrong. I'm thrilled to not work with this cast. He is not in the show. Andy Justice is, in fact, not in the show. This is just a joke. Always read the fine print. Here's another example of that. Ruckus, the sod poodle, is sadly not starring in The Play That Goes Wrong, and he does not love the costumes because he's not in it, so he hasn't seen them. How could he like them? And we've had a little bit of fun with an injury that happened. That is the whole reason why we postponed this show a week. Our friend Jenny Morgan had an injury at the beginning of Tech Week, and now we're having a little fun with her injury. And Raquel has done a little bit of Photoshop work. So if you head to our social media, you can see some of these fun graphics that Raquel has created, like Jenny tripping and falling into a cactus, or Jenny falling off a curb while antique shopping. Actually, it's not Jenny. I'm so sorry. It's Sandra. This is Sandra. I apologize. I'm ruining everything. Sandra has taken a tumble because Sandra is an adventurous person and she is seeing all the sights of Amarillo. And yeah, head to our social media to get a little bit more of that. But we've had a lot of fun with that, and it just makes us even more excited for this show. Before I get to interview these amazing co-stars of The Play That Goes Wrong, I want to head to my favorite time of the week. It's our Volunteer of the Week. I just love that. Our Volunteer of the Week, how could it be anyone else? Kendall Carnahan is our Volunteer of the Week. We are so, so proud of her. Kendall, if you don't know, was of course in our production of Little Women several years ago and has been the AD for The Play That Goes Wrong, the assistant director. And after Jenny Morgan's injury, she got furiously plugged into the show, all while doing one act with her school. She has had an amazing attitude the entire time, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of the entire cast when I say she has been an invaluable ALT warrior throughout this process, especially the last 2 weeks. So congratulations, Kendall, on being our Volunteer of the Week. We're so proud of you. And thank you for stepping up and being an ALT warrior for us. We are so, so grateful. I'm going to hold off on my interview for another couple of minutes because I just have to show you this great video, this promo video for The Play That Goes Wrong. I don't remember if I showed it last week or not. I meant to, and I don't think I did. So we're just going to take a second to watch it together.
Hello, I am Chris, the director and star of The Murder at Havisham Manor. I've got to tell you, it's going really...
I've worked very hard on this play.
I haven't received the whole script yet.
Everyone else, especially Annie, bunch of idiots.
Oh, I'm behind the show. I don't want to be in the show.
One, to not have to look for a Duran Duran CD.
Lines are all memorized, our blocking is perfect, our...
Two, he always loses it. Trevor.
My favorite part is getting to pour my friends a drink, because Lord knows they need it working with me. I'm Bernard, I'm on the crew for the show. Things have been interesting. Previously I worked on Cat, that was very fun.
Characters are fully developed and would... very well, thank you.
Audiences have seen me many times, and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Who do you play in the show?
It's a good one.
You know what? I won't get paid enough for this.
I need to fix. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
If you find the Duran Duran CD, tech box after the show.
What a devil of a situation this is. Things are going to get very exciting. See you next week.
Oh my gosh, incredible. I cannot wait to see this show. Before we get to my interview, I want to highlight a couple of comments. Our friend Lane, Golden Gamer 300,000 is watching. Hi, Lane. Thank you for tuning into Thursdays at 3 as always. And Raquel, discussing the photos of Sandra, says, that's not Photoshop. Cornley Drama Society hired me to follow Sandra around. Yeah, not Photoshop at all. Not Photoshop at all. Thank you, Raquel, for creating those amazing, amazing graphics. Okay, and now it's the moment everyone's been waiting for, of course. I'd like to formally introduce my guest today on Thursdays at 3. Please welcome two cast members from The Play That Goes Wrong, Brooks Boyett and Sawyer Landry. Hi, friends.
Good afternoon.
How's it going?
How you guys doing? Ready for preview night tonight?
Very.
Extremely, yeah.
The 2 week long tech week will get you ready.
God. The worst for a show like this to have a tech week that long. I know. We'll talk about that here in a second. But Brooks, can you tell us who you're playing in the show and a little bit about him?
Yeah, I play Chris, who plays Inspector Carter, and is also the director of and the president of the Cornley Drama Society. So Chris has this whole play is his vision for
Right.
it's a play we're putting on, The Murder at Havisham Manor. And so Chris is the director, and it's his concept, and it's his cast. And so he's also cast himself as one of the leads. So
Why not?
yeah. And so
Yeah.
you're coming to watch The Murder at Havisham Manor. That's
Okay.
what you as the audience is doing.
Okay.
It just doesn't always go as they practiced it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Sawyer, who are you playing? And can you tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, so I play Max, who plays Cecil Haversham, and also Arthur the Gardener. And Max is just happy to be on stage. He does everything he's told to do exactly how he's told to do it until he gets a laugh, and then all of that goes out the window. So,
Max likes the audience.
oh, we love the audience for
Oh
sure.
my
Yeah.
gosh. So great. And Sawyer, this is your ALT debut.
It
Can
is.
so Sawyer's first show with ALT, we're so, so happy to have you. Can you tell us a little bit about your first experience rehearsing for a show at ALT?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't think I could have asked for a better show to debut with. And I mean, the cast is star-studded. Everybody's, come at it with such a point of view of like, this is so much fun and, let's just try anything we can. And it's just been amazing. And we've kept that end goal in sight, and everybody has just been so great at welcoming me in for everything. And I mean, it's been everything I could have asked for times 1,000. It's been amazing experience for sure.
I'm so happy to hear that. Sawyer, what would you say to someone who's been thinking about auditioning at ALT but hasn't pulled the trigger yet?
Do it. I mean, there is absolutely no reason not to. There are so many limited chances that you can get, and I mean, if somebody's offering you an audition, go take it. There's no reason, even if you get told no, it was still a learning opportunity. It's still experience just to go into the next audition. But yeah, it's a great place to audition for, and it's a great place to be a part of.
Such a great attitude to have. Brooks, why do you keep coming back to audition at ALT?
I guess I'm bored. No, it's so fun. I really I like to make people laugh, but I really like the process of taking a script and getting with a group of people from different backgrounds and that don't even really know each other and creating something that brings joy to Amarillo. And so the whole process is the fun part. The payoff's tonight, but
Yeah.
there's been so much work that's gone into it. It's just been special and fun and exciting, and get to use your imagination and have some fun. So
Yeah. So Brooks, you're an ALT veteran and a member of our board, and you've been acting since the 90s, which I only know because see that
there it
arrow?
is.
There's Brooks there in the background, and there's me holding my grandma's hand. So Brooks
Ben
and
the
I
gardener.
this was in 95, y'all, 95. So you've been acting for a really long time, just like I have. How would you describe the ALT community?
Oh, the ALT community is the best. Like I said, it's a welcoming bunch. I haven't been a part of a bad cast and had a bad experience in any of the shows I've done. They've all been special, and that's what I like about it. Whether you're a first timer or a long timer, it's really fun. Everyone has the same attitude of let's work together and make this happen. Whether it's the cast or the crew or Noah and Brandon and Michael in the shop, just bringing it all together, and that's what's special about it.
Yeah, and we're so happy to have you with us, Sawyer, as a newbie. I know Sawyer was just telling me that he's planning on starting his film and TV career and wanting to move down to Austin. But anytime we can get you, Sawyer, we're happy to have you. And I'm so glad that you found us and auditioned for this show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. You're always welcome back anytime. If you make your way back here, of course, our doors will be open always.
Yes.
Can you guys tell us a little bit about what audiences can expect? It's a little kind of a weird question to ask with this show, because I know there's going to be a lot of kind of unpredictable things, but what can audiences expect if they know nothing, like myself, walking into the theater?
I guess I'll go First, I think, I mean, obviously you can expect to laugh.
Yep.
There's no lessons learned in this show.
Yeah.
It's
Not a
just an
think piece.
escape. Yeah, it's not a think piece at all, as much as Chris wants it to be, honestly. Chris is doing it. This is a
Poor
serious
Chris.
drama in his mind.
Oh,
This is a
no.
murder mystery. Oh yeah.
Okay.
There's no funny lines. This is a
Got it.
serious. But so you can expect, I think you're gonna laugh. You can expect to be a part of the story. You're in on the fun, you, the
Okay.
audience. Like you've got a role. You're the
Yeah.
audience. And you're going to meet crew members and different people before the show starts. And it's like you're stepping into a new theater experience. And so I think you can just expect to be in on the fun. Is
Okay.
that, and expect the unexpected? That's a cliche, but it's right,
Yeah.
Sawyer. It's a little,
Oh
there's
yeah,
some surprises.
it's definitely one of those shows you're gonna have to watch at least twice. Once just to see it, and then the second time to be like, oh, okay, now I can actually probably understand what's going on instead of
Yeah.
just all the stuff that happens in it without giving too much away. It's
Mhm.
just chaotic and it is fast paced. It's gonna be a fun time for everybody involved.
And
Okay.
yeah, I think the fun of it is that, especially if you've ever been on stage at any time,
Mhm.
you've had stuff go wrong.
Right.
We all forget lines
Right.
or forget to place a prop or something gets out of order or doesn't happen. Um, and so the fun of this is just all of that happens. And so it's like just you're the actor's nightmare, I think is part of what's fun of it for me.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's enough for me to come see it, if I weren't already. So you guys had to recently work around a fellow cast member getting injured during rehearsal, really close to opening. So how has the cast rallied around her, and what has the process of adjusting the show been like for you guys these last 2 weeks? Brooks, I'll ask you first.
I mean, when it happened, it was a little. I mean, it was a little devastated. We were worried about Jenny, number
Right.
one. Again, if you've heard, she just hold, please. I think I broke my wrist. That was it. I'm like, well, she couldn't have broken it. She would have been crying if she had
Right.
really hurt herself. But it was
Not
just Jenny
Jenny.
being not Jenny. Jenny
Yeah.
broke it. So a stressful few days as we
Yep.
try to think through this, but also knowing the play that goes wrong. Most anything we do, we can work around because it's the play that goes wrong. And so
Right.
being creative and figuring things out, and Kendall Carnahan being there, as you said, our volunteer of the week to fill in for Jenny while we were working through it. We've got some ways around it that we won't reveal until you see it tonight.
Yep.
Chris will let you know kind of the plan. But so it's been a challenge, but I don't know. I think we found some other funnier things. I think some things have worked that
Yeah.
have elevated the humor.
Yeah, that's kind of the talk that I've been hearing behind the scenes and talking to your director, Callie, last week off camera. She was kind of filling me in on how you, Brooks, contributed to this whole idea of how we could adjust around and fix this. And I loved that idea of how the cast members and the production team kind of came together and put your brains together to figure out, okay, what's the best plan of attack to figure this out in the smoothest way possible. And I was talking to Callie about this last week off camera again, that it seems like it added an even more hilarious element to the show that would not have been there otherwise. So it kind of sounds like a bit of a silver lining, although we would never want anything to happen to anybody. But if something happens, turning it into something like this, it sounds like it's going to be even better.
Yeah, and Sawyer has multiple scenes with Jenny that had to be reblocked because of the arm. So he's had a whole extra challenge from everybody else, but it has added some
Yeah.
humor.
Yeah, it's been I mean Jenny has been phenomenal with or without the incident. And so with this it just added a whole nother layer of like, okay, how awkward can we make this to where it just is so funny and just take it to that next level. And I mean Jenny's been great every night with working around what she can do and what she can't do, and she can do a lot even with that broken wrist. I mean, she has been A plus, and just the whole the whole cast, the whole crew, everybody involved, just, coming behind her and being like, we can make whatever work for you and anything like that. And so it's been, especially in my scenes with her, it's just taken it to a whole nother level that I think the audience is really going to enjoy, and just, yeah, just amplified it times 10. It's going to be great.
That is so exciting. And I feel like anytime you do a show at ALT, my experience is that you obviously bond with your castmates. I feel like a show like this, that's kind of a farce, that's got slapstick stuff. When you're doing a comedy, you have to pay attention and be so much more observant to what's going on stage than you would in any other show. And then with something like this happening, a sudden injury that's adding a new layer and new adjustments that you have to make, I would imagine you guys have bonded even more in the last couple of weeks trying to get everything situated and making sure that Jenny is comfortable and getting things figured out. Is that your experience?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this whole show is based off of, cues and picking up cues, and, not just line cues for actors, sound cues and everything that, that goes wrong in the show. And then, with this on top of it, it's just added a whole nother layer to where we have really had to come together and be like, okay, yeah, we got an extra week, so let's just smooth everything else out and make sure that it's, we're perfect and we're good to go for tonight's performance. And I think, everybody's really came together in this last week and just been like, okay, we can either take this as a setback, or we can take it as an opportunity to just keep grinding and keep getting better.
That's so great. Brooks, I've always known you as a especially talented comedic actor. Would you say that this show has challenged even your already existing comedic abilities on stage?
Yes, it's super challenging. There's a couple things that challenge. One is just there's a lot of physical stuff and some stunt stuff and some things that we have to really trust each other with.
Yeah.
And be able to be prepared and physically ready for all those things.
Mhm.
But Callie even touched on it with us last night. Is your mind is in three different places. A lot of times, like in theater, you've got two dual thoughts. You as
Right.
yourself and you as your character. We're
Mhm.
three characters now. So Brooks is trying to make sure he's remembered all his lines and is picking up what's going on. But Chris is also having to be on the stage, keeping an eye on things as it's falling apart. And he's also having to play Inspector Carter, who Inspector Carter is trying to solve a mystery. And
Okay.
so you've got three things going on in your brain at the same time. And so you're trying to balance and juggle
Ooh.
all those
Yeah.
in order to, so how would Chris play Inspector Carter if this happened? And so,
Right.
yeah. And have an RP accent while you're doing the whole thing. And so make sure everyone can understand what you're saying. Throw that in there. It's pretty exhausting by the end of the night, physically,
gosh.
emotionally.
Oh, I'm sure. I know. Yeah. Like I know for me personally, when I do a show, it takes me a couple hours just to wind down from the adrenaline and everything. I would think with a show like this, that's like times 10. Just because of how hyper aware I feel like you probably have to be every single moment with the physical comedy, like you said, Brooks, having to trust your castmates, especially if, you're the one on the receiving end of that or something. You don't want any more injuries than you've already suffered in the cast, and having to pay attention. And are there overlapping lines and things like that, or specific line cues that if you forget
Yes.
this line cue, you're in big trouble?
Yes, all those things.
Yeah.
We've got a crew that we trust and that have been a
Right.
part of this since the beginning. You got, Vanessa, Travis, Cameron, those three have been a part of this since the beginning. And so
Mhm.
they're a part of that same circle of trust. We know they're going to be there when they have to be there. And
Right.
so, there's just a whole lot going on in at the same time. So, I was with a group of ALT people like before Christmas, and we were all talking about, the question was asked, what's the hardest show you've ever done? And I said, it might be this one. It really might. It's so much fun, but I've done other fun shows. It's just like, Baskerville a few years ago, we just had fun.
Yeah.
This one, it's serious fun. Like you have to
Yeah,
really be locked in.
right. That makes perfect sense. Would you agree, Sawyer?
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely been the most tired I think I've been through a show. I mean, it's, you definitely get your cardio in whenever you get up there on that stage and, dealing with breath support and everything, lifting stuff, throwing stuff off stage, and then remembering lines, having an RP accent, your brain's in three places at once. It is chaotic and it's just so much fun. I mean, I think audiences are really going to see just how much fun everybody in the cast has had and everybody backstage. It's just been, a great experience to really have all these people come together and be like, what is the funniest thing that we can do in this specific scenario throughout the show? And yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me, is that the more people describe this show to me and what's going on in the show, it feels like it doesn't ask anything of the audience other than enjoy. I love that feeling, because just as adults, there's a lot asked of us in life day to
Mhm.
day, from people we care about, from jobs, from life, from responsibilities. And it feels really exciting to be able to go to a show and just not have any expectations put on you as the audience member. Come prepared for XYZ, come prepared to really think about whatever. I feel like it's just an escape, a really fun way to escape, is how it
Oh,
sounds to me.
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one of those things where you just sit back and watch, in the script it says, these people aren't bad actors. They are just normal people who are put in a terrible, terrible situation. And so as an audience, that is fun to, watch people suffer all day long. And so I
Yeah.
think, yeah, just sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
And there's not a person in the cast that doesn't just make me laugh on a nightly basis. The
Yeah.
challenge is there's things Harrison does that,
Oh,
like, you just don't understand how funny. I mean, you know how funny
Harrison
Harrison
is
is.
yeah.
But in this, there are times this is like, I don't know how I'm not going to break on stage. That might be the biggest challenge. How do I not laugh at Harrison tonight? And
Yeah.
same thing with Jeremy and Zeke and Sawyer
Mhm.
and Jenny and Heather. They all do these things on stage that's just like, I've just got to bite my cheek so I don't laugh, and it's always a surprise. There's always
Oh my
something new you can find.
I'm glad you brought that up, Brooks, because we were just talking before the show about how ready you guys are to open, especially because you need an audience for laughs in this show as an actor on stage. So, Brooks, what has it been like performing the show to people who've seen it a million times up until now?
Yeah, it's at a certain point, I'm like, are we still funny? I hope this is funny.
You got to be questioning your
Callie,
abilities.
Callie is a great laugher.
Yeah.
And then Lord Joe Starkey and Treva are on up in the light booth, so you can hear
Mhm.
them laughing.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. In an
Raquel
audience of
came the other
almost
night. So you've
500.
got, an audience of 4 chuckling.
Right.
It's not, maybe we're funny.
It's not
So
encouraging.
yes, and I feed off of the crowd
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the laughter, and so it's going to be really nice. I think it's going to give an extra bit of energy tonight.
For sure. How has it been for you, Sawyer, with the things that you have to do, not getting an entire audience of people laughing at what you're doing?
I mean, for as serious as a murder mystery it is, we want those laughs 100%. And especially with Max, I mean, once he gets one laugh, that's all he wants the rest of the show. And so when you don't get that laugh or you get like it's like, oh,
Painful.
yeah, it's gonna be rough. Tough
Yeah.
crowd, tough crowd. But yeah, it's one of those things that, the past couple rehearsals that we've just really noticed that, we need a crowd. And Callie and all them have been great at, giving us that support and everything. But I think this group is ready for, more than 4 people in the audience for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and one thing we haven't mentioned is there is also some improv in this, and the improv doesn't really work without the crowd. So
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's a whole other, who knows what we're going to find tonight when we actually have a crowd reacting to what happens. So that's fun.
So, doing a show like this, have you guys been surprised at your own abilities? Like, I feel like a show like this is going to challenge really kind of every aspect of yourself as a performer. Do you feel like throughout this process you've grown as an actor, having to do the things that are asked of you in the script? I'll start with you, Brooks.
I mean, I feel the same almost imposter syndrome I felt when I did Baskerville with that cast because they were all
Mhm.
so good. Where I'm like, for this one, I'm just like, oh, they're all funnier and better actors than me. And Jeremy Hernandez does some things. I'm like,
Oh
my
my gosh.
brain would never go there. I don't have that skill set. And so, so it's been challenging for me trying to keep up with all of these guys. So
Yeah.
that's been the challenge for me. It made me I've got
Mhm.
to elevate my game because they all are really on point.
I love to hear that. What about you, Sawyer?
Yeah, I mean, it has definitely been a challenge to just, push and be, on top of your game, how you deliver lines, stuff like that. And
Mhm.
I think it's almost impossible with this show to not walk away and feel like, you grew a little bit with it because there is so much that it requires of you than just acting and just being on stage. I mean, you're having, like Brooke said earlier, your brain is in three different places at once, and you're also having to do this RP accent, and you're all over the place, and you're acting with people who are just so incredibly funny and so talented, and I feel like it's almost impossible to not be, elevated by everybody in the show just because of how they go about it and how good they've been, throughout this whole process. Everybody's just done amazing. And so I would say I have definitely walked away a better actor than when I auditioned for sure.
And
I love to hear that.
Sawyer doesn't mention how much physical stuff he has to do in the night. So he takes more steps than the rest of us. I think
Oh my gosh.
he's
Oh my
all over the
God.
stage. So I
Yeah,
think
I'm
there's not
he
so
a,
probably has
excited
to
to hear
have the
that.
most endurance of
oh
anybody.
God, yeah. There's not an inch of that stage that is probably not covered by somebody at some point for sure.
Definitely using the space.
Oh,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. How would you guys describe Callie as a director for this show? Callie Hissick is our guest director. She's a professor at WT, and she's graciously come over to guest direct this show. So how has the process been with her?
I- Having done a show with her when the schedule came out, the season was released back in the spring. I saw
Mhm.
Play That Goes Wrong. I thought I'm definitely going to audition for that, and my thought was, I hope Callie directs it.
Is
That's
that
what I
right?
was. Yeah, yeah. Just because I love working with her.
Mhm.
The way she goes about it, just works with my sense. I think we have a similar sense of humor
Mhm.
as well. And she's really good at, like, as she'll say, she'll give you the outline, and then she starts filling in the colors as the rehearsal goes on, and she's always finding one little adjustment and say, how about you say it like this? I'm like, okay, that
Right.
didn't make any sense, but I will, and then it's
Right.
fine. Or do
Yeah.
this. And so she finds all those little notes and she sees everything. And so that's really fun. I really like working with Callie.
Yeah.
What about you, Sawyer?
So I just graduated from WT in May, and so yeah, I've been around Callie a lot. I did SpongeBob with her, and then Laramie Project was the last show I did at WT. And I mean, there's she's just amazing in the fact that she gives you this creative freedom to not be like, okay, here's your character, here's what you're going to do, here's how you're going to say it. It's very much, I'm going to let you figure it out as you go along. I'm going to give you a basic outline of what I need, and we're going to tweak it from there. And she works with us every step of the way. She's comes at it from such a great idea of, this is a consent-based practice. We don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable in the rehearsal
Yeah.
space at any time. And that's been a huge thing for me. And just she is so driven into that these are not characters, these are real people. And so, I mean, I could sing Callie's praises all night long. Yeah, I've loved working with her.
Well, and
And
it's
she's
gotta
not
be.
afraid to say.
Go ahead,
I was
Brooks.
gonna say she's not afraid to like tell us, you know, Brooks, Zeke, stop. That's she gives us so much rope. Like we can't go that far. You guys are,
Yeah,
so she knows where we're gonna,
got to
dial it
rein it
back,
in.
guys. Yeah, rein it
Yeah.
in.
But it's great that you guys feel free to experiment too, because that's
Oh
really
yeah.
important. I'm in a comedy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And she's given
Yeah.
us so much liberty, so much freedom with this, but also been like, okay, this is a, main stage show, so we gotta keep it
Mhm.
a little appropriate.
Right. Well, and I'm sure Sawyer, for you doing all of this physical comedy, it's got to be a relief to have a director who is so concerned with making sure that everyone feels safe in the space, because that is how injuries happen when there isn't concern for that. And you're sort of giving it your all and going all out. If you don't have somebody who's hyper aware and focusing on that, you could really get hurt.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean,
Yeah.
not to give like any spoilers away or anything, but anything, potentially that is risk taking with the set or whatever, Callie checks it out beforehand before we even do it, just so she can make sure that it's safe. And I mean, just once again, she takes top priority of safety with us. And I mean, that's something I feel like that's pretty rare to find, where that the director will literally put themselves in a harm's way
Hmm.
before putting any of her, actors or anybody in a position like that. So I mean, she's
And
been, yeah.
and just to add, also Kendall Carnahan has
Hmm.
choreographed some fight scenes and stuff that are in this, and so Kendall's
Hmm.
been phenomenal with that. And even Cal, even the injury that took place wasn't even a part of all the crazy stuff that happens on stage. It was a fluke thing. So just to
So ironic.
clear
Yeah.
that up, yeah, it wasn't like it was during some of the stuff you're going to see. It's just
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
Yeah. We actually have a comment. Courtney Fraser wants to know, what is an RP accent?
So that's received pronunciation. It's a traditional British accent. So you'll hear it from like the royal family. It was kind of considered the proper British accent, and because there's so many different dialects and regions, and so uh,
Mhm.
just your stereotypical British accent would be more what it is. Would be the best
Okay.
way to put it. And it's harder than you think. It's a little easier and funnier to be Cockney or Scottish or
Right.
something.
Right.
RP's challenging
Okay.
because there's, we all have our flat A's,
Yeah.
you know.
That's a
Um,
great question, Courtney. Thank you for
yeah.
posting that in the comments. Um, okay, guys, anything else you want audiences to know before they come and see the show?
Just come in and have fun. I mean, we'll be
Yeah.
waiting for you. We'll be there the rest of the week and all the days after that. And so, I mean, we're ready for an audience, and I just hope that they're ready for what's about to hit them.
And
And like
Sawyer, you have
honestly,
a friend who says hi.
Oh yeah, that's my little brother.
Oh, my back hurt.
oh,
Oh, so
Go ahead,
sweet.
Brooks.
like Annika said, get your tickets now because people are going to want to go see it next weekend because you really want to see it.
Yeah.
Sawyer said it. You want to see it twice. There's a lot happening at once on stage and multiple times.
Yeah. And if you do want to see it twice, if you come and see it and you're like, I want to see that again, go home and get online immediately and get your tickets for next weekend, because I am telling you, our box office has been, that phone is ringing nonstop all day. So make sure to get your tickets. And I just want to take a second to remind everyone, these are volunteer actors from our community putting on this show. I just want to put that bug in your ear before you go see it, because it's going to be phenomenal. They're going to blow your socks off. And I just want to remind you, these are volunteers from our community, and you could be a part of that family. If you ever want to audition for a show at ALT, you are more than welcome. If you don't want to be on stage and just want to be a behind the scenes person, we've got a spot for you too. The more the merrier. We want to include as many people as possible in our ALT family. So come and join the fun, or come see a show and see what we're about. We can't wait to get you plugged in. Guys, thank you so much for being on Thursdays at 3 with me today. I'm so grateful you took time out of your day on your preview night to join me to talk about the show. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend of shows.
We do too.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for
I
promoting
hope
this thing,
it goes
Annika.
wrong,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
not even going to bother with that.
We hope it goes right.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
hope it goes
hopefully.
right while it goes wrong.
That's right.
Exactly.
Thank you guys so much. And everybody have
Thank
a great
you.
weekend. And
Thank
hopefully we'll see
y'all.
you at the theater. Thanks so much.